Today, we're diving into a topic that's becoming increasingly important: shortages. As always, we want to keep an eye on shortages, and here's some more shortages we have to look at in 2025. This isn't just about stocking up on toilet paper anymore. We're talking about essential goods, from the food on our tables to the medications we rely on. That's right, we're seeing shortages pop up in almost every sector, and it's impacting all of us. Whether it's due to supply chain disruptions, geopolitical events, or even natural disasters, the reality is that the goods we depend on might not always be readily available. So, in this video, we're going to explore 4 critical shortages you need to be aware of this spring. We'll break down why these shortages are happening, how they might impact you, and most importantly, what you can do to prepare. Let's get started. First up, let's talk about something that affects us all: food. We've all seen the headlines about rising grocery prices, but the situation is more complex than just inflation. We're facing real shortages of essential food items, and it's only going to get worse if we don't pay attention. One of the biggest factors impacting food supply is the ongoing war in Ukraine. Ukraine is a major exporter of wheat, a staple ingredient in countless food products. The conflict has severely disrupted wheat production and exports, sending prices soaring and creating shortages worldwide. And it's not just wheat. The drought in California, a major agricultural hub, is wreaking havoc on crops like lettuce and tomatoes. Remember those sky-high lettuce prices we saw last year? Well, get ready for round 2 because the drought is still ongoing, and it's impacting yields and driving up prices. Now I know what you're thinking, Graham, this is all pretty doom and gloom. What can we actually do about it? Well, for starters, we need to be proactive. Don't wait until the shelves are empty to start thinking about your food supply. Consider stocking up on non-perishable items like rice, beans, and pasta. These are pantry staples that can last for months or even years, providing a safety net in case of shortages. And if you have the space, think about starting a small garden. Even a few tomato plants or a lettuce patch can make a difference. Remember, growing your own food is a great way to become more self-sufficient and less reliant on the grocery store. Plus, it's a rewarding hobby that can save you money in the long run. So don't underestimate the power of a small garden. But it's not just about individual action. We need systemic change to address the root causes of these shortages. That means supporting sustainable agriculture, investing in drought-resistant crops, and finding peaceful solutions to geopolitical conflicts. The food crisis is a complex issue, but it's not insurmountable. By staying informed, taking action, and demanding change, we can create a more resilient and food-secure future for everyone. Next up, let's talk about a breakfast staple that's become surprisingly expensive: eggs. Remember those days when you could get a dozen eggs for a couple of bucks? Well, those days might be long gone, thanks in part to the avian flu. This highly contagious virus has been decimating poultry flocks across the United States, leading to a massive reduction in egg production. And when supply goes down, you guessed it, prices go up. We've seen egg prices more than double in some areas, putting a strain on consumers and businesses alike. Now you might be thinking, okay, so eggs are more expensive, I'll just eat something else. But it's not that simple. Eggs are a key ingredient in countless food products, from baked goods to mayonnaise. So even if you're not cracking eggs every morning, you're likely feeling the impact of this shortage in other ways. And for some businesses, like bakeries and restaurants, the egg shortage is a major headache. They're facing soaring ingredient costs, supply chain disruptions, and tough decisions about whether to raise prices or absorb the losses. But amidst all the chaos, there are some who are profiting from the situation. Take Cal-Maine Foods, the largest egg producer in the United States. They reported record profits last quarter with net sales up over 100%. Now, I'm all for capitalism, but it's hard not to see the irony in a company profiting from a crisis that's hurting so many others. What can we do about the existential crisis? For starters, we can be more mindful of our egg consumption. Maybe we don't need that extra egg in our omelet, or we can explore egg-free alternatives for baking. And on a larger scale, we need to support policies that prevent and control the spread of avian flu. That means investing in research, improving biosecurity measures on poultry farms, and finding more sustainable ways to raise chickens. The egg shortage is a stark reminder of the fragility of our food system and the interconnectedness of our world. By understanding the factors at play and taking action, we can create a more resilient and sustainable food future. Now let's shift gears and talk about something that's driving the future: electric vehicles. The EV market is booming, with demand for electric cars, trucks, and buses skyrocketing. But there's a problem: a critical shortage of lithium, a key component in EV batteries. Lithium prices have been soaring, driven by surging demand and tight supply. This shortage is creating a bottleneck in the EV supply chain, making it more expensive and time-consuming to produce electric vehicles. And as you might expect, those higher costs are being passed on to consumers. We're seeing longer wait times for new EVs, and the prices of used electric cars are actually going up, which is almost unheard of in the car market. This shortage is impacting everyone from individual consumers to major automakers, and it's only going to get more challenging as EV adoption accelerates. What's driving the lithium shortage? It's a combination of factors. First, demand for lithium-ion batteries is exploding, not just for EVs, but also for smartphones, laptops, and countless other electronic devices. Second, lithium mining and processing capacity hasn't kept pace with this surge in demand. It takes time to develop new mines and build refining facilities, and there are environmental concerns associated with lithium extraction. And third, geopolitical factors are playing a role. China controls a significant portion of the global lithium supply chain, and as tensions rise between China and the West, there are concerns about potential disruptions to lithium supplies. What can we do about the EV battery crunch? Well, for starters, we need to invest in expanding lithium mining and processing capacity, while also exploring more sustainable and environmentally friendly extraction methods. We also need to accelerate research and development of alternative battery technologies that don't rely on lithium. Solid-state batteries, for example, offer the potential for higher energy density and faster charging times, but they're still in the early stages of development. And finally, we need to promote policies that incentivize EV adoption while also addressing the challenges posed by the lithium shortage. That means providing tax breaks for EV purchases, investing in charging infrastructure, and supporting research into battery recycling and reuse. The EV revolution is here to stay, but we need to address the lithium shortage to ensure a smooth and sustainable transition to a cleaner transportation future. Something critically important but often overlooked: pharmaceuticals. We've all seen headlines about drug shortages, and the situation is worsening. From over-the-counter meds to life-saving prescriptions, the shortfall is impacting millions. The triple endemic of respiratory illnesses last fall and winter drove this shortage. COVID-19, flu, and RSV spiked demand for Tamiflu, Tylenol, and cold remedies, emptying shelves. But it's not just seasonal illnesses causing problems. Critical antibiotics like amoxicillin are also in short supply. Manufacturing delays, supply chain disruptions, and increased demand are to blame. ADHD medication shortages like Adderall are causing even more concern. Millions rely on these meds, and the shortage is causing anxiety and disruptions. So why is it so hard to ramp up production? It's not as simple as flipping a switch. Manufacturing is complex and regulated, taking months or years to bring new facilities online. Plus, many drugs in shortage are older, generic medications with low profit margins. Companies are reluctant to invest in these drugs because they're less profitable. What can we do about the shortfall? We need to address the root causes of these shortages, invest in domestic manufacturing, streamline drug approval, and create incentives for essential generics. We also need to reduce our reliance on medications. Focus on preventive healthcare, healthy lifestyles, and alternative treatments. The pharmaceutical shortfall is complex, but by understanding the factors and demanding action, we can create a more resilient healthcare system. There you have it, 4 shortages to keep an eye on this spring. From food to pharmaceuticals, we're facing unprecedented challenges to our supply chains and access to essential goods. But it's not all doom and gloom. By staying informed, taking action, and demanding change, we can navigate these shortages and create a more resilient and equitable future. Try to stock up if you can, or find alternatives to reduce dependency on these items. For example, growing lettuce at home is always a good idea. Knowledge is power, and by understanding the factors driving these shortages, we can make more informed decisions for ourselves and our families. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more videos on important topics like this. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.